Good afternoon. My name is Juanita Dawson, and I serve on the Executive Council with AARP California. Welcome to everyone who's joining us live. Today, we're here with the San Jose chapter of the Links Incorporated and guests from the Santa Clara County Register of Voters to talk about voting in 2020 elections. We encourage you to share this stream now on your own Facebook page so that interested friends and family may also participate in today's important conversation. AARP is a nonprofit, nonpartisan organization that works on behalf of our 38 million members nationally and 3.3 million members statewide to enhance the quality of life for all people as we age. AARP is fighting to make sure the 50 plus voters' voice is heard, and we want to make sure that you know how to cast your vote safely and what your voting options are. Again, for those of you who are just joining, my name is Juanita Dawson, and I serve as an executive council member with AARP California. Today, we're here with the San Jose chapter of the Links Incorporated and guests from the Santa Clara County Register of Voters to talk about voting in 2020 elections. We encourage you to share this stream now on your own Facebook page and ask live questions through the Facebook or YouTube comment box. I would like to introduce today's moderator, who will be asking the important questions you may have around voting, Vieira White. She's an active member of the San Jose community for 35 years. Vieira is passionate and committed to her work in diversity, equity, and inclusion and service in the community. Vieira is the chair of the National Trends and Services facet of the San Jose chapter of the Links Incorporated. So please, let's welcome Vieira White.
Thank you very much, Juanita. The San Jose chapter of the Links is pleased and excited to be partnering with AARP to share important information on the upcoming election. The Links Incorporated is an international, not-for-profit corporation established in 1946. The membership consists of 16,000 professional women of color and 288 chapters located in 1 states, the District of Columbia, the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, and the United Kingdom. It is one of the nation's oldest and largest volunteer service organizations, extraordinary who are committed to enriching, sustaining, and ensuring the culture and economic survival of African Americans and other persons of African ancestry, built on the core values of friendship and service. The San Jose chapter sponsoring this event was chartered on June 6, 1981, and our chapter has a rich legacy of award-winning programming and best practices that are highlighted through services to youth, the arts, national and international trends, and health and human services. Today, we are here to discuss the important topic of the 2020 elections and how you can make sure your voice is heard. Joining us today is Jose Posadas, election specialist and community relations for the Santa Clara County Department Registrar of Voters Office. Let's get started with today's conversation on the 2020 elections and your voice and your voting power. So Jose, during these rapidly changing times with COVID-19, social justice affairs, the economy, and California fires, it can feel a little overwhelming, but we are here to help make folks things more clear in regards to the 2020 election year and your voting choice and what you need to do now before the November 3rd election. So let's start with the basics. How do folks register to vote?
First off, I want to say thank you for the relationship that we're building. The Registrar of Voters really is all about getting the word out to the community, but we cannot do it without the assistance of community partners like the links and others, because it's very important that we get the word out that the election is coming up. It's only 4 weeks away, and it's really important that people go out and have their voices heard. So if there are folks that have never registered to vote before, the best thing that they can do is go to the website registertovote.ca.gov. That's the main page for the state of California to register to vote. They could also go to our Santa Clara County website page, which is sccvote.org. We have a lot of information there, and one of those is a link that takes you to the voter registration site.
Thank you. So let's say I haven't registered to vote or I have moved. Do I need to register again, or how do I change my address or voting location? Is there a deadline to do this prior to the November 3rd election?
The best thing to do is go to, if you're a resident of Santa Clara County, go to seccvote.org, or you can go to the Secretary of State page to find your own individual county registrar of voters page. You should be able to enter your name and your information to see if you are currently registered and if the address is the actual address where you reside today. If it is not, then the best thing would be for you to re-register. That has a lot of information on the website. And if there's information that you need to verify, change, in addition to your address, maybe your spelling of your name, that's the best time to do that. We do have a deadline of October the 19th, but it's a deadline really more for us at the registrar to make sure that we get your registration and that we mail your vote by mail ballot in the envelope before November 3rd, because something that is new to Santa Clara County is you can actually register up to November 3rd and vote, including November 3rd. But we definitely prefer that you register as soon as you can, definitely before October the 19th, so we can get your mailed ballot to you.
Absolutely. We want to be sure we register early, but what if we miss the deadline? Can I still vote, and how do I vote?
Yes, if you missed the October 19th deadline, you can still register to vote. You can follow the same instructions that we have on our website or the Secretary of State website. You'll be able to register, and you definitely will be able to vote on November 3rd. And if for whatever reasons you forget, things just get behind schedule and you're not able to do that, and there we are on November the 3rd, Tuesday, you can actually still walk into a vote center in Santa Clara County, register, and vote right there.
Oh, that's awesome. That's really good to know. We don't want folks to wait, but that's good to
No.
know. So let's talk a bit about how to vote. Everyone who is registered to vote in Santa Clara County will receive their ballot in the mail. With Voters' Choice, we now have 3 options on how to cast our ballot. Put it in the mail, take it to the vote center, off, or vote at the vote center. For those who may not be familiar, can you tell us what is Voters' Choice?
The Voters' Choice Act is something that we actually started this year in 2020. And as you just mentioned, it allows people more choice on how they cast their vote, when they do it, where they do it. Right now, I'd say approximately 75% of voters in Santa Clara County already registered to vote by mail, so it won't be much of a difference for 2/3 of the population here in the county. For the remaining people, they do have that option now to register to vote at home, because we'll be sending vote by mail ballots to everybody in Santa Clara County. So the easiest thing to do would be to vote by home and then either put it in a post office mailbox, or the second thing would be to drive to one of our drop-off locations, or third would be to go into a vote center to drop it off, or exchange it for a live ballot at a vote center and vote in person. Again, because of the pandemic and the issues regarding social safety, we're encouraging everybody that can to vote from home and either mail it or drop it off. That would be probably the safest thing to do at this time.
Okay, great. And if this is someone's first time voting, it can be confusing. Are there any services available for user-friendly instructions, and where can you find them?
One of the things that we do at Santa Clara County is we mail what's called a voter information guide. Basically, that has all the written information about the candidates, about the measures that the individual will be asked to vote for this coming November, as well as all the information about contacting the registrar of voters. It'll have a listing of the locations where the vote centers are. It'll be mailed out in English, and for those who need language assistance, they'll also get one in their specific language that they have requested. So if somebody requested Spanish, they'll get that additional voter information guide in Spanish or Vietnamese or Chinese, any other language that they have selected when they first register to vote. In addition, the Secretary of State in Sacramento also offers and sends a voter information guide for the statewide ballots. That way people can be informed on those issues as well. And if they have any questions whatsoever, they can always call us at Santa Clara County, and we have people that are staffing our call lines that can assist them in any way over the phone as well.
Wonderful. Given many folks are worried about coronavirus, some are planning to vote by mail. And you may have touched on this, but will you tell us a bit more about how voting by mail works? Do we need to put postage on the ballot? Can we have a friend or family member drop off our ballot for us if we can't get out of the house? When's the deadline to mail the ballot? And what is a good date to make sure it's done and gets counted?
Starting October 5th is when Santa Clara County will start to mail the vote by mail envelopes to all the voters in Santa Clara County. So our recommendation to the voter is that once you receive it, once you've made your selections, there's no reason to delay. Just close the envelope and send it back to us. Make sure that you place your signature on the envelope. That's incredibly important. You do not need a postage stamp. Santa Clara County is covering the postage for these envelopes, so you don't even have to pay to do that. If you have an individual, whether it's somebody in your household, a friend, a relative, that you're asking to return it for you, it's also very important that they also sign their name and place their signature on the upper right-hand corner. I believe you'll see that on the screen right now. That is their affidavit, so to speak, that they are doing this on your behalf. But then you, as the voter, in addition to signing in the large red box that you see right now, you also have to put your initials and sign it on the upper right-hand corner as well. So it's actually two signatures that the voter will need to make, and then whoever is bringing it for them also has to sign it as well. And again, you can drop it off at any drop-off location at a vote center. If people go to our Santa Clara County website page, there is a feature where you'll be able to type in your address. And once you do that, you'll be able to see all the drop locations where you can return them starting October the 5th.
Great. And if we don't want to vote by putting into a postal box, can we bring our completed ballot to our ballot box drop-off? And when can we start doing? Where can I find that information? That's my closest ballot box. And I think you just referred it to us.
Yes, you definitely can do that as well. You can drop it off at any drop-off location. We're on pace to have approximately 100 drop-off locations throughout Santa Clara County. And in addition to that, we're going to be opening up 100 vote centers. There's really 200 locations that we are staffing where you can drop off and return your vote by mail envelopes. If you do want to do that in person at a vote center, we're going to start opening our vote centers starting Saturday, October 31st. They're going to be open for 4 days. So starting October the 31st, November 1st, which is a Sunday, the 2nd, which is a Monday, and of course, Tuesday, November 3rd. They can also drop them off there as well.
Okay. So how do the Voters' Choice Vote Centers work?
So it actually was a very long process that we started over a year ago because we need to contact a lot of locations to check their availability, get the dates on a calendar. And so we were able to approach a lot of folks that wanted to open up their locations for this specific purpose, which is to allow the community to come out and vote. A few notable locations that we do have that are available, especially for the African American community. We have the vote center that's located at the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Library, which is located in downtown San Jose. We have the African American Community Services Agency, which is also in the downtown area off of 6th Street. And then we have other churches that also participate because they're going to be opening up their halls or banquet rooms to us so that the community can come in and vote during those 4 days that the vote centers are open. And again, the best way to find out which is closest to you would be to type in your information on our website. It'll provide a list of all the locations where you can vote in person or drop off the ballot in person. And one of the things that is really unique to the Voters' Choice Act is that now in Santa Clara County, it really doesn't matter which vote center you go to vote. There was a time before where you had to go back to your own neighborhood, to your own polling place, because that's where your name was listed on a register, and you'd be able to vote there within your community. But now with the Voters' Choice Act, with the equipment that we have, you can go to any vote center. They'll find your name on the list of registered voters. And with the new printers that we have, we'll be able to print the ballot that you need specifically for your community, for your ballot selection. So you can go really anywhere in Santa Clara County, which is really ideal for people that are commuting to work. For example, they might be living in Morgan Hill, but they work in Palo Alto. They can go anywhere in the Palo Alto area where there's a vote center, walk in and vote in person. They don't have to drive all the way back down to where they live to vote. So they'll be able to vote at any location in Santa Clara County, which is really an exciting change for us here in the Valley.
Yeah, absolutely. That is really good to know. But for some of us, the traditional way of showing up in person to a polling center is really important. So if I want to cast my vote in person, how will that work at the vote center considering the virus? Do I need to bring identification? Can you drop your ballot in another county, or does it have to be in Santa Clara County? And again, I think you touched on that already.
Yes, if you do either by accident or just the timing in your daily life, drop it off in another county, that other county is obligated to forward that envelope to us, and vice versa. We would do the same. If somebody that lives in San Mateo accidentally dropped off their ballot here in Santa Clara County, we would take that and deliver it to the San Mateo Registrar of Voters so that your votes are counted in this very important election. The thing that we're doing that is different, obviously, is taking all safety precautions because of the COVID. We'll be implementing social distancing at our vote centers. We'll be providing face masks and gloves to any voter that doesn't have them when they show up to vote. All our staff are being trained at this minute, really, to do whatever they need to do to make sure that your experience is safe as possible. Our staff also will be wearing face masks, face shields, gloves. There'll be dedicated people working at the vote center that will be wiping down with disinfectant any objects that are touched by the previous voter. So if somebody is using a pen or somebody is touching the ballot marking device and making their selection, as soon as they are done, one of our people will be wiping that surface, disinfecting it, and making it ready for the next voter that comes in to cast their vote. We're also limiting the number of people that are going to be inside the vote center space at any one time. So it could be a few 12 or 15 people, for example. And as soon as some people exit the space and they're done voting, then we'll let another 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 people walk in to do the same. So we're trying to control the environment as much as possible. And for those people that are there to vote, all that we ask is their patience, because they will be waiting outside, again, social distance, until they can get into the room to cast their ballot.
Well, that's wonderful. We really appreciate all the measures taken for the safety. That's great. So we talked about a few different ways to vote in Santa Clara County. Will you briefly recap them?
Okay. So again, the main things to be aware of is that starting October 5th, we're going to be mailing vote by mail ballots in the mail. So look for them that week or a few days after. It's really important that people make their selections as soon as possible. Vote early. Please don't wait till Tuesday, November 3rd. We're asking them to vote from home. Fill it out as you're drinking your coffee, sitting at the table, And when you're done, you don't even have to put a postage stamp on it. Just seal it. Make sure you sign it. That's very important. And then drop it in the mailbox or give it to your postal carrier the next time you see them. Or the other thing you can do is you can drive to an official ballot drop box location. Again, there's going to be approximately 100 locations in Santa Clara County. If you go to our website, type in your address, you'll be able to see which locations are closest to you. The third way to do that would be to go to the vote center to drop it off in person or exchange it so you can vote inside the vote center. And those will be open starting October 31st through November 3rd. So there's really a lot of flexibility, a lot of convenience for the voter, and we're definitely encouraging them to vote as early as possible, vote from home, be safe, and have a really more relaxing experience than probably what they have been used to in normal vote election years.
So I want to emphasize, so in Santa Clara County, you do not have to have postage.
That is correct.
Okay, because that was a question asked to me, but in other counties you may, so people need to be clear.
Yes,
Right?
yes. Best thing
Okay.
to check the Secretary of State website page to find out what's specific for your individual county.
Okay. Yeah, I think if I vote, I would take my own pen too, but I do appreciate all the safety precautions. So if someone wanted to work, Jose, as an election worker, how should they go about finding out information on this?
Again, they can go to our website, secvote.org. We're actually in the midst of training, I believe, almost 2,000 people right now that have stepped up and said that we want to make sure that this is a safe election and we're here to help the registrar of voters. So we got people that are going to be working multiple days getting ready for the vote centers to open. A lot of people that are going to be working that Tuesday, November 3rd, because that's usually the busiest time that people go out and turn out to vote. So the best thing to do is go to our website page. There is a help wanted section. You'll be able to see what positions are available. So if somebody is interested in helping for multiple days, anywhere from 6 to 11 days, or if they just want to help for one day, there's different application processes there on our website. Just click on the link, fill out the information, and once it's been approved, we'll be in contact with you to try to get you into one of the remaining training classes that we have left here for that purpose.
Excellent, excellent. Well, thank you, Jose. This is a wealth of information, so important in this very important election. So before we wrap up, let's see if we have any live questions from our viewers that we haven't had a chance to touch on. Juanita, do you have any questions for us?
Yes, thank you, Jose and Vieira. This was so informative and great information. Here are a few questions from our viewers, and I'll start with how can I assure my vote will be counted? And I think you did talk a little bit about that, Jose.
Yeah, the best way to do that, there is also another feature, again, on our website. It's a ballot track feature. Basically, you'll be able to see when your ballot was sent. You'll be able to see when your ballot was received by us and when it was counted. So that is your way to check to make sure that your vote has been counted by entering some information there on the ballot track it feature that we have on our website.
Oh, okay. What about, here's another question. Do you have to volunteer as a poll worker in your own county, or can you volunteer to support another county?
You can do both. We actually get people that come from south of Gilroy that want to help, and they end up being volunteers in the Gilroy or Morgan Hill area. And likewise, we have people north of Palo Alto that may live in San Mateo or Redwood City, and they want to volunteer here in Santa Clara County. And I think the reason why they do that is because they probably have some connection with Santa Clara County. They maybe have family that live here. They maybe babysit their grandkids. They maybe work here, but only part-time. And so they're already making that commute. So they're thinking, well, I can come in on a Tuesday and do my community service by helping out with the Santa Clara County Registrar of Voters.
Oh, okay. Are poll workers compensated?
Yes, we do pay, depending on the position. Some positions are hourly because you actually get hired as a Santa Clara County employee. And the pay, I believe it's 21.37 hourly. And then there's also a stipends position, which is a flat rate that you get paid to work the entire day. And some individuals and some organizations actually use that as a way to fundraise for their group. There are some groups that pool in anywhere from 10 to 20 members. They work for a stipend and then they donate that stipend to their organization, which
Oh,
can be a pretty big check because I've seen some of those checks come across my desk. So if there's a group that's willing to do that, definitely would welcome them and all their members to come out and support us on election.
oh, great. Here's another. Will my vote center be the same as my polling place last year?
It may or it may not. It really depends on the location. With the new Voters Choice Act, we needed to find spaces that can accommodate the new equipment, additional equipment. So we're unfortunately not using places that we had in the past, like garages or small office spaces, because we just need the extra space to provide for the additional equipment that we're using. The best thing to do again is to check our website, see if the name does pop up as one of the locations. And we are using some of the same locations, but not all of them. And then we're using some actually brand new locations that we've never used before because people really wanted to participate and help any way that they can. Two that come to mind are the San Jose Institute of Contemporary Arts in downtown San Jose. They've opened up their gallery so that we can use that as a voting space. Another one that we use for the very first time in March and we're using again in November is Levi Stadium where the 49ers play. So there's been some good organizations and corporate partners that have stepped forward and say, you know, we're not using our space anyway. Why don't you come out and open up a vote center here, which is something that we've been very fortunate to have.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
great.
okay. So there is a list of voting locations, and how
Correct.
would one get their church, for example, to be a voting location?
At this point, because it's so close to the election, it's probably would be too late for this November. But for folks interested in future elections, the best thing to do would be to just contact us. We'll set you up on a list so that following this November's election, we'll actually almost immediately, probably by January, start reaching out to organizations, to locations to see if they would be willing to open up for us as a vote center for the next election to come, which could be next year if there's a special election, or it could be the following year for the gubernatorial races.
Oh, okay, okay. Let's see. Do all counties have voters' choice? And how can I find out if my county offers voters' choice?
It is not mandatory at all counties, but quite a few already have opted in. Again, the best way to find out if your county does would be to go to your specific county registrar of voters website page or Sacramento website page, and that will list all the counties that are participating in the Voters Choice Act. So we are one. Sacramento is, and a few others in the northern California
Oh,
area are.
hmm. Okay. Let's see. Here's one more. If I'm not a Santa Clara County resident, where can I go to learn more about voting in my county?
Again, probably best to type up the county where you reside in, get information. I'm sure they'll be more than happy to assist you on how to register to vote, where your voting will take place, and if you are able to do so, I'm sure they'll welcome you as a volunteer or a worker at one of their either polling places or vote centers.
Oh, okay. Okay. And let's see. What should I do if I didn't receive my ballot?
Best thing to do is give us a call. We're
Mm-hmm.
here to help you. We do from time to time get people who say, "Oh, I didn't get my ballot." You know, maybe they moved, or maybe it just hasn't gotten delivered to them, and we can and we will replace the ballot. All they need to do is give us a call and let us know they haven't received it. So starting October 5th, again, is when they're going out in the mail. So if, for example, you don't get anything, say in the first 2 weeks, definitely give us a call.
Oh, okay, okay. And I know I have a few questions here about the dates. Can you just repeat some of those dates again? The
Sure.
deadlines and dates
Okay.
coming up.
Okay. So October 5th is the date when we start mailing vote by mail ballots. So we're sending them out to all the registered voters in Santa Clara County. October 19th is a deadline to register to vote, but that really is a deadline so that we get your registration in time so that we can mail you an envelope before November 3rd. November 3rd, obviously, is the election date, but October 31st is when we open up our vote centers for 4 days. So October 31st, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, we're going to open up 100 vote centers in Santa Clara County. There was one thing that I did forget to mention, and it's really important too, because there's probably some concern about their mailed ballot. Will they get to us in time with all the issues that we're probably seeing and reading about with the United States Postal Service? That's why we're saying to people, as soon as you get your envelope, fill it out, put in the mail, or drop it off as soon as you can. But one of the changes that was made just recently, actually, is that in the past, as long as your envelope was postmarked by November 3rd, before the postal service closes their doors that day, that it would have 3 days for that envelope to get to us. So as long as it got to us within 3 days and it was postmarked by November 3rd, your ballot is good. Your votes are going to be counted. But that now the change was made to allow for 17 days after
Oh,
November 3rd. So it's allowing additional time for your mailed envelope to get delivered to us by the Postal Service. So that's, I think, something very good that happened with
Yeah.
the U.S. Postal Service, allowing more time for the envelopes to get back to us 17 days after November 3rd. So your vote is going to count, and it
great.
will get to us one way or the other.
Well, that is great. And here's another question. Who can help me with understanding information on the ballot?
Again, we're mailing out voter information guides that are going to be both in English and whichever other language you have declared on your voter registration information, Chinese, Spanish, Vietnamese, Tagalog, etc. And if you still have questions, probably the best thing to do would be to contact us. We do have pretty bilingual staff here in our offices, so they can assist you in almost up to 14 different languages. So we do have people that can assist you. We even have a location for folks that are visually impaired. It's the Vista Center for the Blind. They are actually recruited some of their own clients to be vote center workers, so you'll actually be seeing people from your own community with visual disabilities helping you at that location. But if there's any questions about any information you have on your ballot or your information guide, then by all means, please call us here at Santa Clara County Registrar.
Okay, okay. You mentioned a website to check the voting status, and I have a question here that is asking, Facebook gives the opportunity to check your voting status. Is this legitimate, or is there only one legitimate site to be able to check your voting status?
I haven't used that feature myself on Facebook, but if it leads you to the California Register to Vote.org page, then
Oh,
you will be able to check your voting status that way as well. But if you don't want to go through Facebook, just type in
mm,
registertovote.ca.gov, and that way you go right to the source and you can see if you're registered to vote.
okay. Okay, great. Thank you. Let's see. Do we have time for a few more? I'm looking to see if there are any additional. Let's see. Yeah, I don't see any more questions. Oh, wait a minute. No, I don't see any more questions. Wow. Well, thank you so much, Jose. Very informative. Viewers, if
Yeah,
you have
really, really
questions,
great questions.
yeah, viewers, if you do have other questions, please type them in so that while we have Jose here, this will be very good timing to get some questions answered. But thank you so much. And you've given several websites and links, so that is very good to help the voters to find information. And you review a lot of the dates so that the voters will know what those dates are and to be on the lookout for different deadlines. So that was very, very helpful information.
Yeah, and the thing that I would repeat again is to vote early. There really isn't any reason anymore to wait till 5 o'clock on Tuesday, November 3rd, to go out
Mhm.
and vote. It's very important that people do this as early as possible. We're providing all that information starting October 5th. So as soon as you receive your envelope, just turn around and fill it out, put it back in the mail, or come here to our registrar's office and vote as early as October 5th in person here at our county building, or when the vote centers open on October 31st on Saturday. We've had the experience of most people in the past, obviously, waiting till Tuesday. But there really is no need to do that. That's why we're opening them up starting on Saturday, the weekend before. There was a one person that asked a few days ago, actually, how long is it going to take you to count all your ballots? And my answer was, well, right now, thankfully, about 75% of the people already vote by home. And we actually get those before November 3rd. So as soon as we mail them out, 75% of the community is already responding and sending it back to us, which is great assistance to us because we're counting all those before November 3rd. We're not releasing any results, obviously. We don't do that until after 8 o'clock on November 3rd, Tuesday. But that still leaves about 25% of people that are waiting to do it on November 3rd. And
Oh,
25% of this county is about 300,000, 250 to 300,000 people that are still
mhm.
waiting to do it on the last day.
Oh my
So if
gosh.
you can do it anytime sooner, please do so. It definitely will be helping us, and it will be helping the community to ensure that we are doing our best to get your votes counted in a timely fashion. So vote early, and vote early.
I
Very good.
know. I know. Here's another comment from a viewer that they're planning to vote by mail. Any last tips on voting by mail?
Just what I had just mentioned before, the signature, extremely important. You have to make sure you sign that envelope before you return it. If you do not sign it, we're gonna try and get you to sign it at the end, because we'll send a letter to you to say that your ballot was received without a signature. Please verify this is indeed your ballot that you returned to us. The other thing would be to actually check your signature. There are some folks, like myself included, that originally registered to vote decades ago, and my signature probably doesn't even look like it does now, compared to when I first signed it many years ago. And then
Mhm.
I also recently was just trying to test the system myself to see if I was registered. And at first, I didn't even find my own name, which was odd because I've been voting every election, and I just voted in March. And then it just dawned on me that I didn't include the letters JR, which is junior, because me and my dad have the same last name. So at some point when I originally signed up, I must have put junior on my
Mhm.
registration card. So if that is something that might apply to you, the best thing to do would be to check to see if you're registered to vote. Update your signature so that it matches what will be coming in the envelope when you finally get your ballot. So those are the two important things that I would remind people: the signatures, make sure it's current, and make sure you are registered to vote under your original registered name, or change your registered name, and just do it before the October 19th deadline.
Well, I do believe we have a short video that we can share very quickly to give a quick recap.
Great.
Santa Clara County voters, get ready for your new voting experience. All voters will receive a ballot in the mail weeks before the election. When filling out your ballot, completely fill in the bubble with blue or black ink. Please make sure to sign, date, and write your place of residency on the back of the envelope. Now your ballot is ready to be mailed with the postage paid return envelope. All valid ballots mailed before or postmarked on Election Day will be counted as long as they are received within 3 days following Election Day. We have many drop boxes throughout Santa Clara County. Go to sccvote.org/Dropbox to find a drop box near you. You can also return your completed ballot at any one of our brand new full-service vote centers, which open up to 10 days before Election Day. You can check to see if your ballot was received by visiting sccvote.org. Under Popular Services, click Vote by Mail Tracking, then answer the following prompts to check the status of your ballot. Thank you for your part in upholding democracy. To learn more, visit sccvote.org.
Great. Thank you so much.
And if I could just add 3 quick items following that video. Obviously, that video was made before the COVID situations that we're having to live through, because nobody in that video was socially distanced or wearing a mask. So, but that's going to be different coming November. And the other thing was, she mentioned the postmarked, and as long as it's received by 3 days after, obviously that's changed. Now it's 17 days after the election. And our vote centers this time are only going to be open for 4 days. Back in March, we were actually open for 11 days. But again, because of the social distancing and precautions, we're minimizing the number of days that we're exposing people in groups and gatherings. So it's going to be only open for 4 days for November, the vote centers.
Great, great. Well, thank you so much, Jose. This concludes our live questions portion for today's conversation, and thank you so much.
And thank you.
Thank you, Juanita and Jose. Great questions. Jose, it's been just really wonderful having you bestow your knowledge upon us. We appreciate it. You shared many closing thoughts and pointers, great knowledge that we can carry with us. Everyone, please vote early, vote early, vote early is the message I got from you. It's a very informative discussion. We want to thank you again for answering the questions and the tips and what we can expect this election year from Santa Clara County vote centers, and explaining to us the options that Voters' Choice offers and how to vote safely.
Yeah.
And viewers, thank you for joining us. Our sincere thanks to our community partner, AARP, for their tremendous support. And remember, your vote, your voice, and your power. Get out the vote November 3rd. And did you have an additional question, Juanita?
No, we did not have any additional questions. I want to thank you so much again, Viera and Jose. There were no further questions for us.
All right. Well, thanks again. It's been a wonderful session. I feel more informed, definitely, and we'll vote early.
Make your voices heard. Vote.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you all.